Another fact of the matter is, if you put your hands on someone, in the majority of states, they can then put their hands on you. And if they just happen to put their hands on you a little better than you put their hands on them, the same charges come up. So keep your hands to yourself is the moral of the story. Captain Malik, Desert Wall Security. Another YouTube video. We're going to see what we can learn. This one, Parkland Man arrested for slapping a security guard. Unfortunately, physical violence is something that security guards often deal with. It's an inevitability of the job, but what we want to do is learn ways that we can mitigate those situations instead of aggravating them. And let's see what happened here. Let's go.
Parkland man is facing charges accused of slapping a security guard, and it was all caught on camera. You can hear the guard's head hit the glass door after he was struck by Joaquin Fagundo.
I didn't mean to laugh, but all right, let's just go back a little bit here.
All caught on camera. You can hear the guard's head hit the glass door after he was struck by Joaquin Fagundo. This video from Parkland Talk capturing the exchange earlier this month, which started when Fagundo tried to get into his own community and handed over his ID to the guard. Fagundo then appears to get upset because the guard was taking too long and demanded his ID back when things really escalated.
All right, seems to be like a gated community with security access. Come on, let's call a spade a spade. A lot of times when you're dealing with these type of communities where people pay an exorbitant amount of money to live there, they want a special type of treatment a lot of times. However, we all know that in security, there's quite a bit of turnover. People jump ship, they go to different companies, what have you. So a lot of times people forget that there's a learning curve for new guards, and that a lot of times you are taught the processes. I mean, I personally worked shifts where I might have had 2 hours at the beginning of the shift. The lieutenant says, okay, you got it, and then they leave. And I'm like, I hope I got it. So we go back. Okay, so we now know that this guy here feels like our guard took too long. So what could he have done differently? Yeah, I definitely don't think he expected for it to get physical. However, what you want to do if you see somebody getting out of control, their body language tends to show that they're getting very irritated. You want to create a little bit of distance. You want to maintain a cool and level head. And you want to use what we call verbal de-escalation. You want to use de-escalating language to deal with the situation.
You can hear the guard's head hit.
It's a lot of threats. I mean, you got a slap in the head. His head hit the window. It's unacceptable.
Hit the glass door after he was struck by.
Props to the security guard for maintaining calm, because another fact of the matter is, if you put your hands on someone, in the majority of states, they can then put their hands on you. And if they just happen to put their hands on you a little better than you put their hands on them, the same charges come up. So keep your hands to yourself is the moral of the story.
By Joaquin Fagundo. This video from Parkland Talk capturing the exchange earlier this month, which started when
it looks like the guard went immediately to call the cops, which is a good idea. You might want to close that door as well to prevent any further attacks and back away. I'm assuming that he's able to lock it from the inside, because at that point, any situation that you had that may have been able to be resolved is now out of your hands. A crime has now been committed, a crime against you. So the priority at that point is not that this guy can get into his home, it's safety, and you need somebody else to come through. And in this case, it would be the Parkland police.
Fagundo tried to get into his own community and handed over his ID to the guard. Fagundo then appears to get upset because the guard was taking too long and demanded his ID back when things really escalated.
So I feel like this part of the video happened before the slap. So see, that's one of the problems with reacting to news clips is they tend to be out of order. Let's see how it finishes out.
Fagundo was arrested on a charge of burglary with assault or battery and has since bonded out of jail.
burglary, assault, and battery. So he entered a place he wasn't supposed to enter, which is the guard check. Yes, you pay, I'm assuming, a mortgage or possibly rent to live in that area. So you're allowed to be in that area, but that guard check is different. So you entered an area you weren't allowed to be in. You put your hands on somebody. Good, great. So what we want to talk about is not so much the actions of this guy here that's on the screen, but what we can do as security officers to prevent these things. Number one is remember your training. And by training, I mean site-specific training. Take it seriously when you show these things. The processes of, I'm assuming it's the people pull up, they present you with ID, you type something in on a computer, it comes up whether they're good or bad. Learn those processes so that you can speed along, because a lot of time when we are in the more customer service side of security, we can prevent a lot of these things from happening just by being good at our job. Another thing would be when someone becomes upset with you, use different language. Do not raise your voice along with them, because it'll just keep escalating until it gets hostile. What you want to do is you want to use an even tone, a calm tone, and a lot of times just explain yourself. I've worked countless amount of posts. A lot of times like, hey man, it's my first day. Let me check it out and see what I'm doing here. I know I'm supposed to look you up. Just give me a sec. Anyway, how's your day going? Small talk. Humanize yourself. But there are those times where no matter what we say, outside influences, we don't know where this person just came from. They could have come from a bar. They could have come from having a really bad day. Then we want to act accordingly. You want to protect yourself after you've been hit. If you can get to safety, you want to lock yourself somewhere to secure, call the police. In my opinion, prior to what happened on video, we don't know. But everything on video, this guy did a good job. Okay? So remember your training. Take everything seriously in your training. Remember to hold yourself to a certain standard that is above the clients and the people that are visiting these sites that you're working. And remember, we just want to make it home. We want to do a good job. We want to make it home. Your actions, never forget this part. Your actions not only affect you, they affect the company that you work for, the other guards that work for the company, and security guards all over the country. So remember, be safe, stay vigilant. I'll see y'all next time.
We've got the building surrounded!
Negative, K, nothing further. Just see the cabbie on the corner.